Hello and welcome back to Vizura Recaps. For today's movie recap, we'll discuss about a loveless marriage between two people in the film Deep Water. As the novel progresses, we see the twisted nature of humanity as they face increased struggle in life. In the first scene, we meet Vic as he returns home from cycling. He notices his wife, Melinda, waiting for him on the stairs. She glances at him curiously, as if she wants to say something, but she remains silent and returns upstairs. The next morning, we see them preparing breakfast with their child, Trixie. She is enthusiastically singing Old MacDonald Had a Farm, which irritates Melinda, who demands that the AI to stop. Their babysitter also arrives to look after Trixie while Melinda and Vic attend a party at a friend's home. They arrive at the party and chat with friends while drinking wine. Vic watches Melinda silently as she splits from him and hugs a friend named Joel. Vic keeps his cool and hides his jealousy, despite how close they are. Melinda is already inebriated, yet she continues to play the piano for everyone. Following that, Joel approaches Vic and expresses gratitude for allowing him to date Melinda. Vic then informs him about Melinda's former boyfriend, Martin, who has vanished without a trace. He informs Joel openly that he is the one who made Martin disappear. When Joel hears this, he becomes disturbed and leaves the gathering quickly. Melinda asks Vic what he said that caused Joel to leave earlier, but Vic simply denies doing anything to Joel. When they return home, Vic pays the babysitter before she leaves. But first, Melinda enters the kitchen, half naked, and brews coffee. He tells her not to do it in front of people, but she becomes angry and returns to her room. She asks him how she fell in love with her, and Vic responds that she's intelligent. But she responds that Joel may be foolish, but she has made herself true to herself. She then instructs him to exit the room. Instead of napping, Vic walks to their basement, where we can see he has a fascination with snails. Vic seemed to enjoy caring for the numerous gorgeous tanks he made. Vic shows his love for the family the next morning by making breakfast for them and driving their daughter to school. As he prepares to leave, a friend interrupts him and jokingly inquires about the murder he committed. It appears that the earlier altercation with Joel the other day was the buzz of the town. Even during lunch with friends, they were aware of what he told Joel, but they also object to Melinda openly displaying her relationship with other people. At home, Melinda is furious with Vic and demands that he apologize to Joel before leaving the country. Joel comes at their home after being asked to supper and discusses his new work in Mexico. Melinda jokes that she would love to visit Mexico and maybe even Joel. Their conversation continues, and Melinda remarks that she wishes Vic were a normal person. But Vic responds that if he were normal, Joel wouldn't be sitting at their dinner table. As it becomes late, Melinda encourages Trixie to sleep and requests that Vic give her a bedtime story. Vic returns downstairs after caring for their daughter to see Melinda and Joel dancing joyously. He interrupts them by loudly washing the dishes. Melinda notices and instructs him to go to sleep, but first she asks Vic to give Joel his drinks while she walks out to get more booze. Joel and Vic are now alone, and they discuss Martin. Joel expected Vic to apologize for deceiving him, but Vic just stated that he killed Martin with a hammer. Joel becomes afraid and flees. The following day, they go to a party and meet a writer named Don Wilson. He is a Hollywood screenwriter who specializes in conspiracy stories. He becomes interested in Vic's life and inquires about the killing of Martin, but everyone dismisses it as a joke. A little time later, Vic invites Kelly Wilson to dance. Vic's ability to dance surprised Melinda and everyone else. Melinda displays her jealousy by having fun in the car while driving home. The next day, Vic receives a call from someone informing him that his wife has sent money to Charles for piano lessons. He then drives his bicycle to inspect the man. After calling everyone, he eventually follows him to a live show. He is surprised to find his wife there as well. He departed abruptly, deep in meditation. After returning home, he informs the intoxicated Melinda, who appears shocked by the news. Vic spots Charles as he walks down the street holding flowers in the next scenario. He subsequently notices the identical flowers at their home. He becomes enraged and throws them in the trash can. But this is not the last time he sees Charles. He attends a party at their home. When Melinda introduces them, his face is filled with jealousy. At night, he loses track of Melinda and searches for her. He questions his acquaintances, who say she was last seen upstairs. He finally sees her leave her room, but Charlie follows her out. Vic watches Melinda and Charlie swim in the pool, flirting in front of him. Vic's face turns stone cold when it suddenly rained. Everyone enters except Charlie and Vic, but Vic subsequently joins the celebration. Melinda remembers Charlie and begins to search for him. She shouts aloud as she sees Charles's lifeless body floating in the water. Melinda is distraught as they attempt to resuscitate Charles, but it is too late. The police arrive shortly. Melinda openly claims that Vic murdered Charles. They interrogate everyone, even Vic, about who was with Charles before he drowned. Vic was the last person, but because there was so little time, they couldn't tell it was him. After all, he has an alibi as he rushes back inside to join everyone, even burning his fingers for stealing a cookie. Due to a lack of proof, he is cleared of the crime, and the case is closed. Vic rides his bike through town in the scene that follows. He reflects on his day at the pool. We can see that he was the one who killed Charlie. As he thinks about the crime he just committed, he notices a car behind him. He takes note of this and observes as it passes over him. Kelly, Don's wife, pays him a visit at Trixie's school and informs him that Melinda and Don have conspired against him. He then asks that Kelly and Don join them for lunch to clear up any confusion. The next morning, as he returns home, he notices the same automobile as previously trailing him. He rushes inside and, to his amazement, finds Melinda eating lunch with another man. He knows he's a private investigator based on the equipment in the car, but he wants to confirm, so he joins them for lunch. He inquires about his job, but when he requests a business card, the man is unable to provide one. This reinforces his suspicions, so he bursts into Don's house and confronts him about why he's even sending a private investigator to him. He tries to defend himself, claiming that Melinda is the one who sent the money. However, Vic storms out. Don and his family's lunch is destroyed when Don and his wife, Kelly, quarrel over this matter. Melinda appears again with a different person. They clasp and kiss, implying another betrayal by Melinda. Meanwhile, Vic is at home, taking care of their daughter. Trixie is convinced that Vic killed Charles. She keeps asking her father how he did it, but Vic says they should keep it between them or he'll be in jail forever. He also overhears Melinda's phone conversation. Melinda appears very eager for that individual to meet Trixie. She even told the person "I love you" before hanging up the phone. It turned out to be one of her ex-partners named Tony. Tony even stops by on one of their lunches. Melinda happily clings to him and goes out of her way to flirt. She also admits that she's the first person he has encountered in a bed scene. Tony nearly chokes on his drink, but Melinda reassures him that Vic doesn't care. However, Vic is no longer smiling. They reminisce about their former relationship. Tony dumped Melinda because she appeared to be a difficult person to deal with even in college. He and Melinda appear to enjoy their meals as they reminisce about their time together. He attempts to suppress his temper as the two dance and enter one of the apartments. Melinda notices Vic looking at them, but she ignores her husband. The next morning, Vic approaches Tony while strolling along the street. He persuades Tony that Melinda has some building locations to show him. He gets into the car, and they leave. They get far into the woods, and Vic drives so rapidly that Tony is scared. He attempts to phone his family, progressively sensing danger, but there is no service in that remote location. When they eventually arrive, Tony asks where Melinda is, but Vic tosses a stone at his head, causing him to bleed. Vic tosses additional stones at him, causing him to stumble and lose consciousness after striking his head. Vic drags his body towards the brook and ties it with stones, forcing him to drown. He also takes his wallet, for some reason. Many days after Tony's disappearance, the relationship and mood in the household improved. Trixie and Melinda are seen bonding together. Melinda also speaks more sweetly to Vic. They even go for a picnic with Trixie. It's the same location where Vic killed Tony. Vic then notices Tony's body parts emerge from the water. He instantly urges everyone to return, but Melinda forgot her scarf, so he returns to the scene on his bike to clear the evidence. Meanwhile, Melinda discovers Tony's wallet under the basement. She realizes Tony actually killed all of her prior lovers at the creek. Tony is busy removing the evidence when Don approaches from behind and asks what he is doing. Vic tries to explain that he isn't doing anything, but suddenly he notices a hand approaching. He instantly flees. Vic chases him on his bike, but the automobile is clearly quicker. Don exclaims, "This is one big scoop worthy of another book for me." Vic, on the other hand, is familiar with the route and takes a detour, unexpectedly passing Don. This causes Don to have an accident, which kills him. Melinda waits for Vic at home, as she did in the opening scene. She knows everything, but she destroys the proof to start over. That was the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Subscribe for more material like this, and please press the like button to assist us. Also, if you want us to recap your favorite movie, leave a comment. Take care until the next time.